Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump onto the charts, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing you see or hear from me here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content and codes, like code RDF for top 1 futures. I cannot be unbiased. Make sure you trade safe. You make your own trading decisions. You don't listen to idiots like me on YouTube. Now, let's hop onto the charts, man. See what we got going on. I have my 3-pack of top 1 futures, 150Ks, straight to funded, loaded up. We are looking at MES here. I got the 1-minute, 15-minute combo rolling. I'm going to zoom out, but I had this all set just watching this movement, testing overnight low, super clean. Was really tempted to take a pre-market trade in these accounts, but I did not. Watching this push to the upside right here, right now at the open, but we'll drop out, check out the daily, check out the higher time frames, see what we have rolling. But good morning, what's up? Hello, my fellow cult members. Wolf, what's up? Georgie, or what's going on? For the Swarm, what's up? Ruben, what's up? I see an IAN in that last name. That might be a fellow Armenian that found me. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you being here. Welcome back. So let's take a look at the daily real quick. Drop out to the real high time frame. Just kind of take a look at how this is forming on a higher time frame here. We know what's happened over the last couple weeks. Taking a look at the last few days, last week into the last couple days. We've really found some buyers off of these lows. We had a chance to just rip everybody's face off back down to the downside. We haven't done that yet. Yesterday, we did have some back and forth movement. Nothing really crazy, pretty choppy. I was a no trade session for the morning, and you could see just by that daily candle, right, why that might happen. We just didn't have a lot of opportunity. Now, I might have a no trade session on a really big bullish or bearish candle, but something like this, a very kind of small indecision candle, the price action in there is pretty choppy. It's just not a lot of directional movement, not a whole lot of opportunity for me. I'm cautious that we might see something like that again today. We're opening up inside, very small daily candle forming so far, albeit bullish. We're going to drop down to the lower time frames, take a look at what this looks like. But I'm interested to see, do we start to push these highs, come back above this level, and actually continue this move to the upside where we found some buyers, big push to the upside, retest down, towards these candle bodies, and then a continuation to the upside? That'd be looking pretty clean. And we're starting to make a case for that right now. Do we find some sellers up here and have to chop around? Do we sell back off a little bit? Do we just kind of chop around here into the later part of this week? Or is the market ready to make a decision? I'm cautious of chop. I'm cautious of indecision. We've seen a lot of movement out of the market, a ton. Rebalancing, kind of just calming down of prices, totally in store. Market can just kind of chill out for a minute and not continue doing what it's doing. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to look to take trades as I see them, put risk on. Like I talked about yesterday, I do want to make some progress in these accounts. Whether that be red days or green days, I want to have something. But if we just chop, I try not to get involved in that. So let's jump back to 15-minute chart. Just kind of zoomed out because I've really been liking this 15-minute chart on ES. Let me just get my volume profile to reset there. Take a look at what I'm looking at here. So again, really zoomed out on the 15-minute chart. Can we reset volume profile? Maybe. Come on, Project X. There we go. Yeah, this thing's getting a little bit slow. Volume profile is supposed to adjust as I display more or less price action and market structure, but it's kind of lagging out on me. There we go. Okay. So what I want to show you guys is where I have, these discretionary levels above and below price, right? If we really start pushing. I can dig into objective stuff. If you guys have questions on these levels, feel free to let me know. I try not to repeat myself and make these, sessions so repetitive, but just so you can see what I'm looking at above and below prior day's high and yesterday's volume profile, which is all pretty tightly packed right here. To the downside, next area is coming off of high volume down here. and a big round psychological number, 5,300, right? That would be a pretty big movement to the downside, but that's the next larger area that I think we could find some buyers if we started to sell off really aggressively through yesterday's low. To the upside, we do have this area right here, so, you know, this is something to pay attention to. If we start to crack to the upside, I'm going to have to pay attention to that. Yeah, just looking at this again, I'd throw a small zone off the top of these highs. Yeah, I would just have to take a look at that. But past that, next area of high volume, I think we're likely to move past this area here into the high, 5575s, 5600 level, getting close to that level. So that's kind of what I have zoomed out on the 15-minute. Looking at the 5-minute, what happened overnight? Yeah, we're pushing the upside, man. Pushing to the upside here. This might be making the case for the move north. Going to be interesting. Again, I'm not going to get involved in the first 10 minutes here, first 5 to 10 minutes of NYSE Open. I like to start trading here with you guys. I pay attention to the chart, start mapping out trades. Overnight session, pretty choppy, right? So what happened yesterday, back and forth movement. I caught some of this into the afternoon. These levels held up really, really nicely. When I was cautious of a movement down, not trusting the longs off of VWAP here for the morning session, we did get that into the afternoon, and I caught some of that move back up to the upside. Sold off pretty harshly right into the close. Choppy overnight session, holding above VWAP. Sold off, tested this overnight low level, this area that was tested multiple times, just looking at price action and market structure. And so far, we found buyers. We are opening up pretty dang bullish here. Pushed in the upside, breaking above. What was this? Prior day. I got two overlapping levels here. Overnight high and prior day's value, point of control. Right here, coming off of the 15-minute. I think that lines up. Yeah, 15-minute. So let's see where we go from here. Again, pretty flexible. Not forming a strong bias here. Not saying we're going to go up or down. I don't like to trade like that anyway. I'm going to wait to see, do we continue this movement to the upside? If we do, I'm not in on it, right? I'm not, taking a buy right off the open. That's just not my play. I'm going to have to wait to see, if we get some structure to the upside, something that maybe allows me to get into a long, because I could see a movement where we just take off from here. But first, I'm a little bit more cautious that we chop, right? I'm a little more cautious that we kind of chop back and forth. I don't want to trade this as a range, but I'm definitely more cautious of these kind of rangy movements back and forth, really until we start to break out to the upside or downside. So really not finding much resistance there whatsoever. We'll take a look at Bookmap in just a minute, but that was a really clean pullback to this overnight low level. That was mapped out right here. Just tapped that. After finding a little bit of support down here, down around these lows, prior day value area low, right? You can see where that comes off of the volume profile. Again, you have questions on my chart, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to yap about it. So yeah, I'm interested to see where we go from here. Not a ton of direction. Obviously, higher time frame trend is up, but this is pretty choppy, right? We've consolidated here on the 15-minute. We're starting to actually just come above this area that if I was looking at, kind of like a Dorito type pattern. This is kind of what, we'd be looking at. I'm not a trend line guy by any means, but just kind of drawing this out on my chart. We had some contraction here, right? And now we're starting to break out above that. Finding some buyers and maybe see that continue. Again, I'm not sold on longs right off the rip here. We had a pullback down here, and maybe that's all we need to do after pulling back and closing this gap yesterday, and we're ready to take off. I'm going to wait on this. I just don't have a strong indication or structure that says we have a really, really clean trend to the upside, and, we have a great way to structure risk. Looking at this from a 15-minute chart, not a really clean spot to structure risk. Yeah, through VWAP before the open, just a little bit of chop and then a bullish movement. So this looks good to the upside, but I'm going to have to wait and see what we get. Appreciate you guys being on with me. Let me make sure we are ready to roll. Got Bookmap over to the side. Let's see what we got rolling on Bookmap as well. Yeah, this is an interesting setup. Really interesting setup. I'm cautious of some chop today. Not a whole lot of news. We'll take a look at news in a minute, but I'm cautious of chop. I could be could be wrong in that caution, and we are just ready to blast off to the upside. Looking at Bookmap with you. Let me just get really zoomed out on the ES chart here. Really zoomed out. Yeah, nothing crazy above or below. If I go like a couple hundred points above or below, just to take a quick peek. Way down here at the 5250s, we still have some on the book, but there's no, 500 lot, 1,000 lot that I want to be really cautious of that far out. To the upside, we are looking pretty thick. If we just look at the DOM over here, the current order book, to the downside, we've got some orders down below. Kind of an even spread as far as these, 250, 200, 250 lot orders to the upside and downside. More immediate, looking, let's say like 20 to 50 points above and below price. Not a whole lot, not a ton sticking out at me. Obviously some orders right up here. This is the algorithmic BS that I try not to pay attention to. Some to the upside here at the 475s, and this looks like about the 82s, but that's kind of getting overlapped. Yeah, there's nothing up there. That's just the algo goes back and forth. So some at 475. Outside of that, not too much. Not too much sticking out like crazy. Nice positive delta, but cumulative volume delta. Shouldn't say delta. Yeah, nothing crazy sticking out on Bookmap. That's really really going to give me a strong indication one way or the other, or something to be cautious of. 5500s to the upside. We got some up there, but not a lot, right? Nothing massive. So yeah, again, I'm thinking choppy today, man. I'm thinking that this might be rangy, and trading off these extremes, could be the case. And if we do get a directional movement, I'm not going to be able to play it as quick as I was trying to yesterday, because we just got structure all over the place here. It's not as clear cut. So this could be a little bit of a tricky session, but trade it with you guys. We'll see what we can do. Right now, obviously first indication is long, right? We are holding to the upside. We're breaking out of this consolidation. We're cracking above the overnight high. We are not massive. We are fairly high in yesterday's candle, right? If we look at the 15-minute, here's prior day low, yesterday's high, but we're still inside. If we start to break out to the upside, I could see it long, right? Up towards these next highs when we, you saw where I pulled this zone from, and then a potential larger movement way up to the upside. But where is, yeah, 5,500 up here. That's a pretty serious level as well. We might go and check that out. We might go and check that out. Yeah, gun to my head, I'm long here. Going to check out, value area high from yesterday, but I don't think I want this one. This is aggressive. That's what I'd be looking at right now. We start to break down out of this. I think we're coming back towards the 450s, back towards VWAP. So I'm not going to jump into anything. I'm not going to start scalping too quick. We got our 15-minute opening range. Looks like we want to break this to the upside right here, right now. Not a bad long, right? Break above overnight high and prior days volume point of control. Looking like we want to try to continue this move, but it's a little bit early for me. A little bit early. 480s. This doesn't look bad. We got some coming on Bookmap right now. I'm hesitating a little bit on this one. I don't think I'm going to jump into this. Just don't know that I want to take a. I'd probably put 500 on for this. Just don't know that I want to take a potential stop on that. It's not bad. It's not a bad play, but this just isn't like bullish enough for me to jump in really aggressively on a bullish move off the open. I'm cautious that we can come back down on this. Right here, right now, it does look like a move to the upside. We got liquidity up to 480s. Again, we got a level up here to go look at. You can see kind of what this looks like coming off of some highs from yesterday. This, push up into the afternoon. Looks like we want to go and check that level out. So a long right from here where I was eyeballing it wouldn't be terrible. Probably something like a 1-to-1. Nothing crazy. That's what I would look at here. 10 points to the upside and downside. Not a bad play. Again, not in this, guys. Not jumping in just yet. Gonna watch how this one develops. 480 as a target looks pretty clean right below it. But Again, just a little bit aggressive on a day like today where I don't have massive indication to the upside based on price action, market structure, volume, the simple stuff that I use. Let's see what we get. What's up, guys, though? Appreciate you hopping on. Smash like, smash subscribe. If you want to help me out, you don't have to do anything. We'll see if we go tag 480s. Looks like we want to. Short setup, 54.66 if hit. Nice. Nice, getting short on this. Nice. My man got short. Yeah, it's a little bit of an aggressive short. Again, I could see it if you're looking to trade this kind of as a rangy day. It's why I'm cautious of getting long up here. I don't have as strong of an overnight and prior day movement to say I'm looking at this to continue long. Maybe something else on Bookmap helped me out. Again, right here, right now, up to the 480s, I could see it. But that would just be a quick movement out of some consolidation, breaking and retesting, overnight high, prior days, volume point of control. Wolf is bored to death. Targeting 480 since last night. Never got it. Okay. Yeah, we'll see if we get it right now. Again, what am I looking at as well on Bookmap? Right here. Right? Pretty obvious level. I mean, you really don't need Bookmap based on price action and market structure to tell you that. But as we started, I was eyeballing it, but as we started to crack to the upside, it was just a little bit late. 470, 475, 480. We do have liquidity to the upside. We filled here, continued, filled here, continued. That's an indication that, we're pretty damn close, less than 10 points away. Maybe we want to go and fill these. Don't have to. Pulling back off right now. But price action and market structure and a level, would give me a long there. Again, if I was going to take it, like what would this a clean setup look like? Right there, right after that nice bullish candle. Not here, not just on the breakout above. We got a break and retest of overnight high, this high right here. And then a nice strong close to the upside. You could say, hey, you know what? If we come back down below this level, I think we're continuing lower. Sure, we could wick lower, but that's not what I'm aiming for here. And if we push to the upside towards that 480 level, maybe you take profit right below it. That's a pretty clean target. And there we go. That one would have played out to the upside. Again, a little bit aggressive. I'm not having fantastic results getting really, quickly involved off the open. It's just, unless I have real clean direction. So I'm trying to just be a little bit more patient, a little bit more cautious of taking anything too quick like that. But that one looks like it's going to pay. Looks like we're going to pay. Waiting for Papa Pal tomorrow to full port. Yeah, Pals tomorrow. Let's take a look at the news real quick, guys, while we're waiting for this to develop. There we go. Trading out the 480s. This looked good to the upside. We'll see if we just continue moving to the upside without me. 8:30 we have Empire State. We had that today. That came in. Let me just refresh this. Nothing crazy today, right? I got a speaker later at night. Really nothing wild. We have, here's what Wolf was referring to. Jerome Powell speaking at 1:30 p.m. That should certainly be a wild ride. We have 8:30 a.m. red folder news tomorrow and on Thursday. And then Friday is a holiday. Banks and markets are closed. U.S. markets are closed. So no trading on Friday. Short week. Be no live session from me or anything like that. Yeah, this one could be dicey. Anytime Powell starts talking, could be dicey. But outside of that, not too bad. Nothing right over our 9:45, 10 a.m. time frame that really starts to jack us up. So that's what we got for news. Really not too much to worry about this week, in my opinion. Now back to the charts here. Good morning, Ryan. What's up? Good morning, Kim. Stopped out. I feel you, man. I feel you. Listen, I don't think that was a bad play to the short side. I really don't. This could be choppy. I don't trust this long, man. Like I didn't trust this yesterday long. You know, where was it? I wasn't getting long on this yesterday off of this, off of this. I was cautious of this happening. It just happened a little bit later, and I could have gotten paid a little bit, maybe. I don't know that I would have, taken profit on it quick enough. But longs off of VWAP for early session would have played pretty nicely. But I'm kind of feeling the same way, guys. Just based on structure and price action, I'm not trusting this long. If anything, it'd be quick scalp to the upside. This wasn't a bad play. That's something that I'll have to look at. Do I really want to get involved 16 minutes into the open? We watched how it played out a little bit last week. Not too nice with me. But yeah, this is bullish off the open, man. Really bullish off the open. I don't know that we break out from here. We just traded out the 480s. Do we go and see the 5500s? Next line in the sand. Crack yesterday's high. I'm more tempted to look for a pullback down, just based on how choppy this structure is. Not choppy, but how much we've consolidated so far, and no news. We got some, we got some red folder news tomorrow. We're kind of in that no news Monday and Tuesday. It's not uncommon that we see just chop back and forth, some consolidation, some balancing. So I'm cautious of movement back down, and right now I'm looking at this kind of as a rangy bias. I'm more inclined to look short up here than I am long. So for right now, I'm sitting patient. It's way too aggressive for me to just be jumping in short and taking taking a sell, trying to catch a top. It's not my style. So I am hanging tight on this, and I have to change the music that's playing because we keep getting ads. What's good with that? What's good with that? We don't want no ads here. There we go. Copyright free, no ads. All right. Anyway, looking like there's still room to go. 80 pips, 80 ticks maybe, Ryan, to the upside on NQ. Yeah. Again, this is still bullish, right? It's still very bullish. I'm not buying off the highs here. We're not breaking out of a level that I see really clearly. This for a break and retest could have been okay. But I'm going to sit patient on this one right here, right now. Call me crazy, gun to my head. I'm short. I'm short for a sweep back down below this low. Pulling back into this range, maybe back down to this area of high volume, this middle ground. That's gun to my head. And do I have a beautiful way to structure risk? Yeah, not bad, right? Not bad, but that's not really my style. That's just reading the market and giving you my intuition and discretion. It's really counter trend to take something like that. For me, I have a decent way to structure risk up here, but it's not like we're coming off of prior day high, right? We got another real clear level to go and test here, and then maybe form some structure to the downside. So I don't have anything on this right now. And if I have to sit here with you guys and just kind of watch the market, keep myself out of chop, I will. But at least for right now, I don't have a setup on this. But early in the session, we're fixing to find a setup, as they say. We're looking to make some progress in these top 1 futures accounts. And if you don't know, I am trading on top 1 futures. This is Project X with top 1 futures. These are 3 150K straight to funded accounts, trading from day 1 in an account where you stand to make money. If you want to check that out, here is the site. You can go ahead and check this stuff out for yourself. Can't be unbiased. I am partnered. I'm affiliated with them. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. I can't be unbiased. I stand to make money. Here's what we're looking at. $3.99 for the 150K accounts with code RDF. I'll throw it in the chat. I'm hyping the hell out of these because I think it's a fantastic opportunity. I don't think... Oh, let me make sure I get that right. I don't think for this dollar amount, there's much out on the market that's challenging this. But again, that's my humble, biased opinion. You got to make that decision for yourself. Obviously, new firm, there's inherent risk there, although they are coming from a long-standing CFD and Forex prop firm. You got to make your own decisions. But $6,000 max loss limit, straight into a funded account, no challenge, no having to make $9,000 on sim. No having to make $9,000 before you withdraw $3,000. You know, a whole bunch of reasons to take a look at this. So check this stuff out for yourself. Code RDF if you decide to. Let's see from there. Yeah, man. Short play. Here's what I was calling. You know, just ideas, right? I'm not gonna pick the high. Pull back. We'll see if this does continue. But this is dicey. It's a little dicey. Not so super clear today. That's what I'm getting from this. Yeah, I think a pull back down towards VWAP. I think a pull back down towards VWAP could be in store here. I don't trust this to take off to the upside. Came and checked out value area high. I think we pull back on this. Not enough to take a short. It's just too aggressive, too counter trend. Albeit we are choppy and rangy, so we'll see how this plays. We'll see how this plays. A lot of volume. Empire State Manufacturing news today could be causing this bullish run. Yeah. Yep. Rechart a little bit different, but around 19,150. Yeah, so we got a couple guys looking on NQ to the upside here. I'm interested to see where we go from here. I'm gonna look for something. Again, right now, the way that I'm viewing this is bullish off the open, right? You know, very nice strong push to the upside. We came and grabbed liquidity up above. We got some more just above this, right at the 85s. But I'm not. I don't know that we break and run to the upside without pulling back, without at least pulling back first. So right now I'm short biased on this. That's what I'm looking at. I'm tempted back to VWAP on this on a short play. But I don't want to trade something too counter trend just yet. So I'm going to watch what happens up here. But right now, guys, I'm eyeballing a short. Again, it was a little bit too aggressive on this first couple candles here. We're coming into 10 a.m. We cracked to the upside of this 15-minute opening range. We're kind of getting a failure above. I think maybe even if we just tapped this and then sold off really aggressively, I wouldn't mind trying it. Entry down near the low 5460s. 80 of risk. 80 ticks of risk, about 20 points. Something like that wouldn't be too bad if we got some indication that we were, a little bit more indication that we're getting ready to move short. Would be aggressive, and it would be counter to this initial movement, which I'm okay with, right? I apply some discretion, I apply some intuition to my trading. It's not so counter to the overall, higher time frame structure that we're seeing, which is pretty rangy, choppy, back and forth. I would be looking for us to not expand to the upside and break this candle's high, prior day's high, and in fact stay inside and pull back down towards VWAP, this area of high volume. I think that's likely even if we are going to break out. Right, we typically, come back down, sweep everybody, piss everybody off before breaking out to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm eyeballing right here, right now. If we just dump from here, I'm not going to catch it because I'm not jumping in up here. Because so far this is still holding bullish, right? We didn't even come down and break this low. We're finding buyers here again. I'm not a fan of just shorting bullish candles here and bullish structure. But if we started to break down from here, I would consider it. Yeah, not too. I wish there were, if we had, especially if we had some like buy orders to the downside here. There's not too much on Bookmap that's helped me out either, man. I'm not loving that. Yeah, 5,500. We got some orders up here. This is a dicey one, man. It's just not a. It's not a beautiful play. Again, I don't ask for a ton out of the market, but some help from Bookmap is usually is usually helpful. Usually helpful. Watching this develop again. If you hopped on late, guys, I'll describe this trade again in a moment. But I'm watching watching Bookmap over on the right hand side. I don't want to show it because I'm looking for a potential entry here. Yeah, just not a beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. I like it short for a pullback down towards VWAP. I don't like it long just based on this structure. Could be reading this very wrong, but I don't have to be a perma bull on a day like today. Yeah, I just don't know if we come and check out a prior day high, and it's not. I don't know that it's something I want to start trying multiple times. I'd have to take it short with a stop up above this level. Let's see what we get up here. I'd really like us to grab. Yeah, we got some orders up here. I'd really like to. I think I'd have to see us grab the 85s and then harshly reject again to the downside. I wouldn't mind looking short after that. Up here at a consolidation, it's just a little bit tricky to take. Yeah, 200 orders at 85. I don't know that I want to get short below that. Show you what I'm looking at on Bookmap here, guys, and why I'm waiting on this one. I think we're coming back down towards VWAP, but we got this level up here. We got a little over 100 that looks like legit orders, and then we've got this level being overlapped by algorithmic stuff. But we got 190 up here at 85, just above the highs that we put in today. So I'm cautious getting short below this. I think I got to see this fill and potentially this, and then maybe a harsh rejection. I wouldn't wait for something like that up here. But I also don't have a ton on the book down below that's really giving me strong indication that we are going to pull back to VWAP. It's not like I have a nice stack of orders down there saying, hey, we got buyers sitting there that want to get involved at that level. So this one just isn't beautiful. I want to trade off this open, I really do, but I'm not going to force anything that doesn't set up for me. Yeah, I think we're coming through to the 85s. I think we're coming through to the 85s, and then what happens when we get up here is what I'm cautious of. I'm not going to take this short below a test of 85, and then potentially a reversal. Something showing some selling pressure out of that. There we go. So we're trading at the 77s. That's filling quite a bit right there. Now, do we go up and grab these 85s, or do we start to pull back before then? Yeah, 10:08 a.m. Eastern. Or do we just blast off? Again, and I'm looking for a short on something that's just real clear structure to the upside. Could absolutely be the case. Again, no real clean bullish structure coming from yesterday and the overnight session. Much more choppy, right? We came through this area pretty damn quickly. I'm looking at a simple retest of VWAP. I'm not saying that it's going to be a down day. I'm not saying it has to be a choppy day, but I think before we blast off, I'll pull back down into this area where I could grab a nice 1-to-1 is in store. But I got liquidity up at 54.85, so it's not setting up for me. So if this drops here, it's not a missed trade. I'm not going to trade against something like that. Because on any other day, I'm targeting it. I'm not going to trade towards it today based on the trade setup that I'm waiting for and my bias right now, but I'm not going to get short below this level being filled. Can't do that. Not part of my approach, the way that I'm utilizing Bookmap. So let's see what we get up here. I'm interested to see. Sweep above this and then some continuation to the downside. I'll be looking short. But I'm gonna stop eyeballing it so tightly. Yeah, Ryan, 10 a.m. Yeah, we do get reversals, right? Guys talk about a 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. reversal, all that type of stuff. We got someone looking to re-enter short at 54.83. Got you. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. A test of that level. I don't know that we get it. I don't know that we get it at all. This is looking just very choppy up here, right? A lot of consolidation. It's obviously an area that buyers and sellers are battling it out. Not a massive amount of volume, but nothing too light. Again, I think if we come down through this, we start to come down through this again, we head back down towards VWAP, right? We come and check out the 5450s. Big round psychological number, VWAP lining up with an area of high volume across charts. I think that's a pretty easy target. And again, even if we're going to continue the upside, I think that's an easy play to the downside, right? If I'm trading somewhat counter to what's going on right here, right now, I'm cautious of holding on for like a banger trade, right? I'm not really in the direction of an extension or something like that. We're still within yesterday's candle, but a quick move to the downside I could see playing out. Just not taking it yet. Obviously, we're still pushing the upside. We're not breaking structure to the downside. We got liquidity up above, right around that 85 level, 54.85 on Bookmap. So I'm watching that. Let's see what the market's got for us today, guys. Let's see. But that would be my first play. That'd be my first play. Put that one on and let it play out. But again, appreciate you guys being here, man. If you're on, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Smash like, smash subscribe. I'm here almost every damn day trading live on YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I don't claim to be the best trader or to know everything or to have all the answers. I'll just show you what real trading looks like for me. That's what I do. So here we go. Getting a pop to the upside. Coming to check out these 80s again. Yeah, again, not short on this, right? Not long either. And long might be the play. I want to see what happens up here at 85, 54.85. I think this is an interesting spot. We got liquidity up there. Do we blast through and just see volatility and we run for the 5500s? Like, that's an option also. I'm interested in a push through this and then some selling pressure potentially, but we may just run the upside on this. And I'm sitting back looking short, and I had an opportunity to get long. But again, just too choppy to play that off the open for me on a day like today, after yesterday, kind of what we've seen overnight. So here we go. Coming into this level. Yeah, orders are staying on the book. Looks like we're going to try to fill here, but yeah, buyers are taking this thing higher, not taking their foot off the gas. Volume is there to the upside. This is interesting. Here we go. Coming to trade out the 85s. Patient. Yeah, we may just break out, man. I'm tempted on this, man. Rejecting prior day's value area high right there. Pretty obvious spot on the chart. Yeah, guys, I'm going to try this from up here. I'm getting short on this. Call me crazy. Call me trading counter trend. Let me just eyeball how I really want to play this on the 15-minute. I'm short 3 from 54.75.5 on a rejection of prior day's value area high. Looking at this to continue back down towards VWAP, but I'm just going to eyeball how I want to play this on the 15-minute chart. I've been trying to get better at zooming out. This is really what I'd be looking at for a profit target, so I do have to keep that in mind as I structure risk. Really, much tighter would be right here, right above this candle high. I don't want to go for that, and I think I'm going to run this above yesterday's high. I think I'm going to run this wide. And realize a larger stop on this trade. Not a lot of risk, right? I'm still talking about, up to about $1,000 risk per trade on something like this. Why would I want to structure it this wide? I think I'm dead wrong, right? If we don't find some sellers here, we start to push to the downside, even after just retesting this level, maybe retesting this level up here. I'm wrong getting short from down here, right? This is not, a clean invalidation point, just right above these highs for me. I like this back down towards VWAP, and I think I'm going to have to run it like a 1-to-1, kind of wide. I think I'm dead wrong if we do start to crack prior day's high. I think we could see some selling pressure right here, so I don't want to run this one too close. I'm probably going to go really wide with it. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let this thing chop around up here and potentially pull back. And again, if I'm wrong on this and we just find bullish structure, I take a full stop out. But I prefer to do that rather than, because option 2 is you could trade it like really tight, right? You could trade it from here, take $150 worth of loss, and then maybe we, I'm not going to go that wide. And then maybe we come back up here and we test this level and then we see some selling pressure and you take it again, right? Like that's kind of thought process number 2. For me, I don't know that I take that second entry up there if we're finding like a whole bunch of bullish pressure to the upside. So I'm going to run it from down here. I really want to go like 10 points above this 5,500 level, but that's really wide. It's really wide. So I don't think I'm going to do that. But allowing a test of that prior day high level on the 15-minute, I'm okay with, because I think if we come all the way through the 5,500s to the upside, I'm just dead wrong. I'm dead wrong on this. We are breaking out to the upside. In that case, I probably want to be looking long up here on a break and retest. So really, really clean invalidation point. And then again, for take profit, I'm looking somewhere down into the 54.50s, right? Nothing crazy, but somewhere down into the 54.50s. That's how I'd play this. So at least starting wide, right? I do actively manage my trades. I'll adjust as I see fit. Maybe we chop around up here for forever and I say, this is not working out at all. Maybe we start to sell off. Ooh. Okay, we got some volatility to the downside, 10.17. I'm gonna throw a take profit on that really quickly. Maybe somebody said tariff. This could get dicey, guys. This could get dicey. I'm going to throw a take profit right at VWAP. Oftentimes, we get a really, really rapid movement back to VWAP. Let's see. Just taking a look at where VWAP is across time frames, because I don't want to miss a quick drop down. This could be a pullback before a really aggressive reaction to the upside as well. I don't think we have news right now. Watching order flow, that's a lot of volatility. A lot of volume came in on that. This could get really, really dicey. So I may look to manage this one quicker, guys. Yeah, we got price moving pretty damn fast on the ladder as well. A lot of volume on these last couple candles. Looking at this moving to the downside pretty damn quickly, but I'm cautious of what we see down here. I'm going to get out of that one right there, guys. I'm taking it right there. I'm going to flatten it right around the 50s. My take profit was actually just below the 50s. I don't want to be missing a take profit on a couple points. $391. That one worked out pretty quickly. I don't know if there was some news or comments behind that, but played pretty nicely. We did come back up, and continue to check this level before that. But there we go. 391 across times 3 across 3 accounts. Who can do math for me? $1,173 in these accounts, making profit. This looks like it may move to the downside. Just continue to talk out this trade. This may look like it, or what I'm seeing. This looks like it may move to the downside. Whoa, I don't want to mess this up. That's a lot of volume, a lot of aggressive selling. Again, could be on something that, is going on fundamentally, news, right? I don't have time to react to that type of stuff. I'm just reacting to what's on the chart. My thesis played out very quickly, right? Back down to this area of high volume, like I mentioned, around the 54.50s, but not something I'm going to hold on to for an absolute sell-off, being counter on this trend. Right here, right now, this looks like it wants to go. This thing looks like it wants to drop. You can see how much more I could have already grabbed on that, but that's not my trade, right? So part of my trading, and I think everybody's, is what is your job? What are you here to capture? Put your trades on. The market's going to continue moving after you close and before you enter, right? Your job is not to capture every single movement. It's to get in, get out, get paid. That's it. So this could continue to the downside. That's a lot of selling pressure. It's on a lot of volume to the downside. As you could see, significantly outweighing any volume that we saw today. A lot of times what I'm cautious of on stuff like this, you get a quick wick in one direction, and you see that same volume immediately pick up in the other direction, right? Kind of like a news candle. So I always do get cautious of that. I'm not going stop loss to break even, as I've talked about a lot. But yeah, trade played. Nice. Again, we never know what that stuff, or I don't know what that stuff is until after the fact, right? I never know unless you're listening to like Squawk or something. And I don't care to. But a rapid increase in volatility, in volume, coming through VWAP, very nice. Now, do we continue here, right? This is still good to the upside. Buyers stepping right back in after sweeping through these lows, coming to this area of high volume. Let's see what happens down here. I'm not done trading yet, guys, but we're up 391 across 3. Really aggressive selling pressure, massive volume printing on this 15-minute candle and these 1-minute candles. Trump markets aren't done yet, guys. We are in it right now. And it's nice to be on the right side of that, right? Does that mean you're a genius or such a good trader? No, man. You guys have watched me be on the wrong side of that before. But let's see what happens here. This is what I was cautious of right around these 50s. We ripped through the 50s, came and hit the low 30s, 54.32 was the low of this on the 1 minute. 54.32 and a half, and now we're immediately back up to this area that we checked out multiple times. One thing I will talk about, guys, if you look at my chart and how this stuff is playing out, I really enjoy these levels. And I just made a video talking about volume. I'm going to be posting it soon. Check out my YouTube. I make a whole bunch. I've been putting out a whole bunch more. Volume profile has really, really been key for me this year, man. Paying attention to mainly the volume profile on the 15-minute zoomed out and prior day's volume profile. And here's why. Look at how key these levels played today. Does it always happen like this? No, absolutely not. But you got prior day high and volume point of control from yesterday. Look at how key that level was. Look at the movements that we found. And when we did finally break through, look at how aggressive the movement down was. Look at prior day's value area high, right? Now, that's a pretty obvious level. It is above this here. You could see what it looked like on the profile from yesterday. But these are simple objective levels, really easy to define. Objective meaning it's not my opinion. They are marked the same exact way every day, that you can utilize for yourself, you know? So I'm happy with volume profile, really happy with volume profile this year. Along with that, just some things in my own trading, my personal, my personal discretion, caution around choppiness, right? Like here's the deal. I don't trade every single, open the same, right? If we are chopping from yesterday, we are inside yesterday's candle, we're opening up with imbalance, and yesterday's candle was a choppy, indecisive candle, I'm not immediately, smashing longs thinking that we're going to extend. I'm cautious of this garbage, right? So I may look to trade that, to try to leverage that. I don't form a crazy bias and say, I think long or short, or I think chop or extension. That's not my play. And you guys see that from me here every day. I let the market start to open up. But that's something that's also helped a little bit. Along with that, just trade management, what you see me do, what you watched me do right there, what's been working for me, taking profit at levels that I see fit. Not waiting for the massive home run, stacking up base hits. And along with that, what's been not working, moving stop loss to break even. And I'll talk about that. But go back and watch my lives from last week. I had beautiful trades, thousands of dollars, be stopped at break even and then them continue. So, adjusting trade management a little bit. But yeah, played out nicely. Now, I'm interested to see where we go from here. I really am. Do we get continuation out of this? Gun to my head, I think we chop. I don't think we see a massive movement. If we do, I think it comes a little bit later into the afternoon, and maybe kind of that slow drift type of movement. Sorry, guys. I know I jump back and forth on Project X here, but I'm trying to get this volume stuff to reset. I don't know why it does that. Unless, so slow drift, maybe some chop. Unless we rip our face off here to the downside. Unless volume, continues and we go, you know what? Yeah, whatever somebody just said or, tweeted, that's going to continue. Market is going into price discovery mode. We're headed lower, or we're headed higher, and we're going to check out above, yesterday's candle, or, maybe above this level up here, which would really be going to check out highs after these lows put in down here. But choppy so far, man. Choppy. So yeah, and on that one, just talking about risk management, that was about, I've been bouncing around between the $500 and $1,000 risk per trade in these accounts. I'm willing to take on, more than that for the whole day, but I kind of make a conscious decision. Do I want to allow myself a second shot at all? And if I take $1,000 L right off the rip, I'm probably not jumping right back in. Maybe into the afternoon. So, $400, $500 worth of risk, $400, $500 worth of profit. Kind of that halfway mark allows me a follow-up, whether I get it right or get it wrong. And, I can continue trading. So I'm going to look for something else, whether I get it here with you guys on the live or into the afternoon, as I've been getting a lot of trades into the afternoon these past couple weeks that have been playing really nicely. What I will do is map it out. Like yesterday, I mapped out exactly what I was looking for. 3 movements in the market that I would be looking to trade. We got one of them and it paid. So I will map that out no matter what, whether I take trades or don't take a trade. Yeah, this thing's kind of tripping out a little bit. Why are we tripping out? 15-minute chart. I don't know. I will map out what I'm looking for into the afternoon well before I hop off with you guys. That's my game plan. But we're not there yet. Right now, I want to see what happens down here, man. Ripped right down to this area of high volume. Again, you could take a look at the 5450s. This level that we chopped back and forth at. An interesting level, area of high volume, temporary volume point of control. I'm curious to see what happens here. We find buyers and start to crack back up to the highs. This could look good for longs. This could definitely look good for longs. So we'll have to watch. But yeah, so anyway, I know I got locked in there for a minute. What's up, chat? My trade of Trading View VWAP. I think TV VWAP. Nove, I'm talking to you. And my top 1 futures VWAP is different. So here's one thing that happens with Project X. And this is across Project X, not specific to top 1 futures. I don't know why this chart is like shaking like that. So I'll try to demonstrate it. You see where VWAP is right here on the 1-minute chart? If the anchor point to wherever the VWAP is not showing, the VWAP itself, the calculation, is messed up. So what you have to do is zoom out. You see it adjusting until that anchor point is shown right here on the 1-minute chart. So you watch me do that over and over again. You see how it's still moving. I zoom out and then I zoom back in, and then the anchor is in the correct spot and the VWAP is in the correct spot. Also, if you're on different time frames or a different chart, that could also be affecting it. Along with that, let's read through the chat, see what you guys have to say on that one. Yeah, I got you. No pressure. Nice, great trade. Appreciate you. Drop, baby, drop. Yeah. We did drop. Someone was looking at 53.96. Yeah, that would be pretty big to the downside. We could go check that out. NQ doing the opposite. Oh, never mind. Wrong chart. EU expects U.S. tariffs to remain as discussed. There you go. That's what it is, right? Been done. First 5-minute candles of the day, which is nice. Never fun being on the chart for hours. Yeah, thanks. No problem. Yeah, man. No, we don't want to be on the chart for hours, right? I watched a reel from somebody that was blowing up yesterday on Instagram that made me laugh. Like, traders are, like, will leave their 9 to 5 to then sit 12 or 14 hours in front of a chart all day. You know, like, what are we doing here, guys, right? So, you know, there's a time limit, I think, for most guys. When you're early on in the game and you're just trying to learn and absorb as much as you can, yeah, the more time, the better. Spend time on the charts. You're really just going to be making mistakes and trying to absorb stuff. But once you get to a point maybe of some consistency, you're a few years in, spending all day on the charts, it's not a good way to trade. You know, if you're a super scalper, you should be setting a specific focused time, a few hours, where you want to be a super scalper, or maybe multiple, sessions. If you're a, position trader, swing trader, or you're kind of a combination, whatever, you should be checking the chart, setting your trades, watching the charts for a while, or setting some alerts and then checking the charts throughout the day. But sitting in front of a chart for like 8 to 12 hours, trying to actively trade, number one, you can't focus for that long. I don't think that your decision making and your cognitive abilities are going to be good as hour 1 as they are hour 12. I would argue that they are not, and I think most people would agree. But along with that, it's just not necessary. It's just really not necessary. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think you're going to be one or the other, right? You're going to be really focused on scalp style trades at a specific time, or you're going to be looking for maybe, larger movements, a little bit higher time frame. And neither one of those require you to be at the charts all day, right? Maybe multiple times throughout the day, which is what I like to do. And maybe a really focused session, which is what I have with you guys on here for a couple hours, really at the most. But sitting on the charts all day is just not really necessary. And I would argue just not beneficial. Again, spending time around trading, reviewing, studying, reading, testing. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. That can take up your time. But actively trading, where you're sitting at a chart, it's game time, it probably shouldn't be more than a couple hours at a time. I go out on a limb and say that, at least without some breaks. So, but I was laughing at that. They're like traders are the only guys to leave their 9 to 5 to work more in a room by themselves. And it's so true. It's so true. See it from so many guys. But yeah, what I like to do and what's been working really well for me in the futures market specifically is focus session, right? And I like NYSE Open. I get on the charts early in the morning, right? When I'm messaging you guys in Discord, talking to you. Early morning, I start checking the charts when I wake up, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Mark my chart up, kind of just get a feel for what's going on. Come back, focused session, from 9:30 onward. Usually not really long, hour and a half, 2 hours at the high end usually. And then mark some levels off, set some alerts on TradingView, and, you know, look for a larger movement that may develop, right? Are levels going to get tested like they did yesterday? Great, I'm going to look for a long, and then maybe I just kind of watch 15-minute candles and look for an entry. And then I let that bad boy play out. But I don't sit at the chart all damn day trading for, you know, 18 hours on a 1-minute chart. I just don't think it's great. But I don't want to speak for everybody. Maybe that works for somebody. So anyway, yeah, not at the chart all day. So if you guys hopped on late, caught a short on this bad boy, pretty happy with that entry, honestly. Really got exactly what we were looking for. A test of these 85s, and then a continuation to the downside, right back down to VWAP. Played out beautifully. You know, I explained the reasons behind that. I'm interested to see what we get here now after a retest of VWAP. Obviously, this was on some momentum. We had something, you know, fundamental. Someone made a comment. You know, Ryan tracks that stuff. I don't. I'm going to trade the chart in front of me, acknowledge that there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but that it doesn't help me to try to react to, or I'll never be quick enough to be able to react to it. Just checking a couple messages that have come in. What's up, guys? What's up in Discord? Checking a couple messages. Really get hyper focused on the chart in front of me, but I do like to just have some outside info rolling in. If I have, I'm lucky to be in contact with a bunch of awesome traders and some badass communities. So try to just have an idea if something's going sideways, you know, something crazy to be paying attention to. I think that is helpful. Yeah, we got Project X Trader Hub. The news is delayed there. Send a couple messages. Again, watching this push back up off of VWAP. I'm not sold on a retest of VWAP and a push so far. You know, right back into choppiness here. So I'm interested to see where we go from here. We start to sell off through these lows. I could see a movement down through overnight low. We got some liquidity down at 54.40. Right here, looks like we want to go and grab that, but we are right back in the middle ground, chopping around VWAP. If you're long biased, you know, now's your buying opportunity, right? Wick lower, push back up, failure to go below, break above the highs, retesting this area. You know, longs with a stop down below session lows for a breakout to the upside. That's not a bad opportunity. It's definitely not my play from the middle ground of this chop. Yeah, 5,500 still has a lot on it. I would almost be surprised if we didn't go and wick high at some point today, and grab this. Yeah, I'm sitting patient on this for right now, guys. Sitting patient on this for right now. No trade setup from down here. I don't have an aggressive long. Again, what I was cautious of and anticipating did play out. Choppy movement, so trading from the extremes worked really well. Right back down to balance. I'm not trading off of this. Not trading off of this. Maybe a test of one of the extremes again and then a continuation, or some selling pressure through this. But again, I don't know that I want to be selling off the lows either. So I'm gonna wait to see how this develops over the next few minutes here. Could be interesting if we start to move above or below this, but again, no news today. We got red folder news tomorrow morning. We got Jerome Powell speaking, chopping right at VWAP. We could just see some back and forth rangy movements, which is already starting to develop. So I'm cautious of that. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not done trading just yet. And like I said, even if I'm not taking another trade on this, I will map out what I'm looking for into the afternoon. Sorry, guys, just sending a couple messages here. Cool. Yeah, chopping around VWAP now. Chopping around VWAP. So yeah, I mean, glad I got the close where I did. Of course, could have grabbed a little bit more out of that drop, but I'm not being greedy on this. Chat, what are we doing? Well, I see some chat here. We got some trading getting put in here, man. Look, we got somebody looking long at 54, 46, 75. You got that. Financial juice, fear and greed index. 22 out of 100. Extreme fear. Markets are worried. We got a man that got long. Dance for me, spy. oh, didn't hit. Didn't fill. I got you. You were looking for a long from down here. I got you. Close. 54, 46 and 3/4. Oh man. You got like right there. Looks like you traded it, but you didn't get the fill on ES. Sorry, brother. Yeah, this is for me. This is just choppy, guys. Right? Again, not to repeat myself, but just telling you what I'm looking at. Right at VWAP. If you were long bias, if you were looking long on the day, buys off of VWAP. Right? We saw that played out yesterday very nicely early in the session. VWAP's a beautiful thing to trade off of. I'm cautious of choppiness today, right? And that's why I took a trade from the extreme after we had quite a bit fill. We didn't have a retest of VWAP yet in the day. Multiple things added into that one, albeit I acknowledged I was fairly counter to what the movement was happening for regular trading hours, for NYSE session. Now, I'm not immediately buying off of VWAP, not based on market structure, price action, and volume for today, right? That on another day, maybe I am, but not today, based on today's price action, market structure, and volume. If we push the highs again, this is really making a case to the upside, and I would consider something to the upside through the 5,500 level. Maybe go check out those 5520s to 30s where we have structure looking left. Conversely, if we sell off through here, I don't know that I'm looking short. I really don't know that I'm looking short on this. If we sell off through here and we get through, prior days like value area low towards overnight low, maybe. But I don't think I'm looking short on this. I wouldn't be selling off the lows for a continuation. It would have to be a little bit more countered like what I took this morning. Yeah, but so far reacting to the upside off VWAP, man, this looks like this is all we needed to do before we continue to the upside. So this is really making the case for a movement back to the upside. Right back through prior day's volume point of control, the overnight high. Let's see what happens up here. But this is absolutely a long setup. You know, again, following the much higher time frame trend coming out of these lows on the daily. I don't think this is a great way to structure risk, in my humble opinion. You know, down below the lows would put you with a stupid wide stop loss. I'd be really cautious at this level. You know, maybe something like this, but I don't like this one. I don't like this one. It's not bad. You know, if you look at the 15-minute chart, we're about to get a nice big, potentially a big bullish engulfing 15-minute candle after a pullback down and an immediate rejection off of VWAP. So buyers do not want this thing to run lower. Sellers had a chance twice, 3 times to take it lower. We're breaking highs. I'm just too cautious of choppiness today. And what I'll be looking for into the afternoon, which is what I'm going to get to here, is some extension, is some movement, one way or the other, right? One way or the other, upside or downside. But let's let this develop a little bit. Yeah, gun to my head right now, long. You know, gun to my head, long, but I wouldn't want to stop in here at all. Would not want to stop in here. It would need to be way wide, way below session lows. Might get a nice break and retest of this level again for a continuation of the upside. Yeah, still have orders at the 40s. That's sketchy. And we have orders up at the 5500s up here. So again, this level, I don't know that we stay away from 5500 today. But we're fixing to find out, as they say in the South, boys and girls. One win, nice to get something, make a little bit more progress. Taking a couple losses. I'm not out of the weeds from last week's live trading yet, but we'll put our trades on as they see fit. Something sets up for me. I'm not hesitating on it. Whoa, oh, whoa, volatility. Wow, right back down. Yeah, this is dicey, guys. This is very dicey. Here we go. Trump markets again, guys. Massive volatility, ton of volume that just came in, clearing out everybody to the downside. We didn't fill the 200 on the book down at 40. At 54.40, that's still there, but an immediate drop. We had some on the book at 45. We went and grabbed right through that. A lot of volatility, rapid movement, barcoding. I'm happy I'm not long. Like I said, don't want to stop anywhere in here. This is dicey, guys. This is really dicey. So another immediate retest of VWAP. This is getting very wiggly. We obviously got somebody making comments. Probably the geopolitical stuff going on, tariff talks. I don't know that I'm going to take another one based on that. That's wild. You know, immediate immediate 100 tick movement out of ES in the blink of an eye, and then directly back to where it started from. That's tough to deal with, but fun to watch. Really fun to watch. Wow, what is going on? I'm filed. Yeah, it's tough, guys. Apple imported new iPhones worth nearly $2 billion from India to the U.S. ahead of Trump tariffs. This time Trump was talking about China. Yep, there you go. Yeah, again, I don't like. You can stay up on a lot of this stuff. Like a lot of guys run like a ton of stuff on their screen over to the right-hand side, right? Like a specific Twitter feed, getting immediate alerts from Twitter accounts that they find important. Maybe you're going to pay attention to everything that Trump says. You're going to have Truth Social or whatever the app is or something up on the side. I don't do that. I'm just going to watch it happen in price itself because I don't know when he's about to say something. And then I don't know when he says something, what the market's going to interpret that like. And I certainly can't keep track of all that and how I'm trading and react fast enough. I just can't. So I don't think it's helpful. I think it's just distracting for me. Any kind of fundamentals really outside of just scheduled news events to be cautious of. So, but it's fun to think about, right? Like, oh, I wonder what somebody said. There you go. Trump talking about China. Yep, there it is. One comment. That's all it takes. Apple not playing around. Yeah. Yeah, man, this is dicey. This is dicey. Again, just chopping back at VWAP. Every comment or whatever that is, it's not really generating a directional movement. If you look at what this looks like on the 15-minute, we're just barcoding here, ugly choppiness. Markets reacting negatively to the news, like the knee-jerk reaction is to the downside, but we don't continue. So, you know, not an easy one here. But I'm going to wait to see if we start. I'm just going to give it a little bit longer, man, because I think we can see some movement here. But, yeah, sellers are failing to take it lower, man. Retesting VWAP, we're creating a really clear line in the sand, right? Like down through these lows, down through these, you know, these 30s, price has not wanted to move on either one of these high volume movements. And we continue to test VWAP and hold to the upside. So long's still the play. It looks like we want to go grab 550s, but I don't know that I want to get involved and get my face ripped off on one of those. So I'm going to wait to see how this develops after this last one, because I think sometimes what happens is you get a knee-jerk reaction and then you get quick movement. You really get some movement after that aftershock. So this is keeping me here with you guys. Let's see what we get out of this. Smells bullish. Think it'll go up to 55.14.5. There you go. Yeah, I like it to the upside, but I don't know if I want to jump in front of any of that. Yeah, pretty dicey, man. Pretty dicey. Wild markets, man. Wild markets. Whatever you do, guys, if you do nothing else, and this is not financial advice because I'm just an idiot on YouTube. Trading's risky. Everybody loses money trading. Speaking to myself, I like to structure risk. I like to put a stop loss in, and even if I run it wide, I like to say price can, in the blink of an eye, come and tag that stop loss and maybe even slip me for a little bit. And wherever I put my stop loss in these markets, I got to be fully aware and accepting of whatever that dollar amount loss is, right? If you do that, you can manage your trades well. You can continue to trade, you know, what's in front of you objectively. But whatever you do, man, put a stop loss in and fully accept that that thing can be hit in the blink of an eye. These markets are moving fast, and if you're not doing that, you're risking the whole account, right? And what I mean by accept it is, you better not be mad if it gets hit. You know, you're putting your trade on. You know that you don't know what's going to happen next with any degree of certainty, right? Just a little bit more often than not, maybe in the long run. So it's unreasonable for you to put a trade on, have a stop loss in, say, I accept this, and then you get mad when it gets hit, or you don't really want to accept that full loss. That's what I mean. Important to accept the risk that you're putting on, or else don't put it on in the first place. Put on less risk, right? Tighter stop, smaller position size. This is the mindset stuff that comes into just jacking up your trading. But very important. Very important. Zach's point, it's hard to know beforehand, of course, but it's great to identify the why behind a movement, at least know certain folks are on a soapbox somewhere, whatnot. Yeah. Again, I talk a lot about that because so many guys talk about news and what's going on and, you know, that type of stuff. Tony, what's up, man? Get that paper. Yeah, Tony, we're in the green today. Nothing much, but we're in the green. Appreciate you jumping on, brother. Appreciate you jumping on, man. Wild movements out of this market, man. Still watching for a retest of VWAP here. Watching multiple retests of VWAP, not for a test. Do we start to bounce and hold this kind of choppy bullish structure to the upside? We go check out the 5500s, maybe a little bit above that, where we have some liquidity sitting on Bookmap, where we got prior day's high. I don't know, man. We had sellers had a chance to take this thing lower multiple times. gun to my head, that's where I'm trading, but I don't know that I want to trade out of this area of consolidation. I think trading off the extremes would be working really well right here, right now. Got short on that. Very nice entry. Really couldn't have been waiting for anything better on that one, so I'm happy with the way that played. Took profit right around the level I want to take profit at, so happy with that. Now we're back down in this kind of choppy area. I'm cautious, a little bit cautious. I'm not wrapping it up just yet because I want to see if we get some serious movement out of this, but I don't know that we see directional movement, right? We got everybody yapping and just back and forth movement. We got red folder news coming up Wednesday and Thursday. We got Powell speaking tomorrow. Not uncommon to have these choppy movements ahead of that, but just looking from a technical, aspect. Choppy yesterday, right? Or rangy. Maybe we don't say choppy, but rangy back and forth. Somewhat rangy overnight. Rangy for this session, right? Not extending yesterday's high or low, forming an inside kind of indecision candle on the hourly, on the daily again. So I'm cautious of this, right? This can be difficult. This can be difficult if you're trading directionally. So that's my analysis for right now. Staying patient. One win, one trade, one win. Waiting for the next. Seeing if we can't find something. And if I don't have something set up, I'll map out what I'm looking for into the afternoon. But I don't know that we get too much into this afternoon. But I'll map it out either way. Green is green. Oh, yeah. Interesting first 90 minutes today. Great job on the P&L. I appreciate you, brother. I don't know how you feel, but it seems we have some short-term change in a micro by the dip market with respect to Trump chirp flushes. Yeah, man, like today. Yeah, Tony, for sure, dude. Today, holy hell. And a couple of the other days, right? Like the buy the dip on any of this would have worked, right? If you were buying into this like immediate sell-off, that would have played. Here's the quick dip here, buy into that. Really on any movement to the downside over over last week or last few days. I shouldn't say any movement, but those quick dips, those flushes, have worked nicely to the upside, man, especially if you're scalping. So yeah, market feels like it doesn't want to move down. It feels like we don't want to sell off. We had some correction after that huge movement, but since then, pop back up and holding around these highs, man. 15-minute chart over here. It feels like we want to come and check this out and move higher. It really does, right? Like this was our pullback down into these highs. Nice structure of the upside. Choppy, right? Does it happen today? I'm looking at much higher time frame stuff, right? I don't know, but it looks like we want to go and test this at very least. Come get a sweep above. Market feels strong. I know I got short today, but that's within choppy consolidation. So, and again, not holding on for a massive movement, right? That wasn't my play. Talked about that off the beginning. I said I thought it could continue, but out right around VWAP, right around that 5450 level. That was the exit. And look what happened after we got down here, right? Choppiness. We actually got some buyers stepping in and not letting sellers take it lower on these chirpy comments. So yeah, higher time frame, 15-minute chart. This feels bullish, but too choppy, way too back and forth. What's up, guys? What's up? Appreciate you hopping on. Yeah, man, if you're new, if you just hopped on, I trade here live almost every damn day on YouTube. I don't claim to be the best trader. I don't claim to have it all figured out. I'm not on the leaderboards. I don't have all the biggest payouts, and I still make mistakes, right? But I'll show you what real trading looks like for me, and maybe you find that helpful, maybe you don't, in a non-financial advice way, because I'm just an idiot on YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor. If you want to check out the accounts that I'm trading right here, since we got a lot of people talking in the chat, I'll post this again. This is Top 1 Futures on Project X. This is straight to funded on Project X. Hell of a deal with code RDF, but make sure you recognize more transparency. I'm affiliated with them. I'm partnered with them. I stand to make money from links and codes. I can't be unbiased. Make your own trading decisions. Decide who you want to put risk on with any prop firm, if you want to put risk on at all. But if you want to check it out, I've been loving it so far, man. I'm super bullish on these guys, not only for the rule set, but for who's behind the brand, coming from a long-standing CFD and Forex prop firm. Check this stuff out for yourself. Check their socials out. Hop in their Discord. Check on the website. That link brings you right to the website where you can check this stuff out. Super bullish on top one. But along with that, yeah, I'm here live every day, and then I run a 100% free Discord community. I will throw that in the chat as well, since we got a bunch of you guys on today. Not a VIP feeder program, just a bunch of guys sharing their trading journey, right? Myself included. Almost 2,000 members in there, 100% free. You can ask me questions, get any info that you like from me. Yeah. That's what I do, man. So yeah, just choppy back and forth movement. So let's map this out, right? Let's get the 15-minute chart up. Let's map this out. I don't know what we get from here. Don't know what we get from here, but I will say what I might do if we get something from this level. So first off, we stay within this range here. We stay within this, this session range. I'm really looking not to get involved, right? As we start to come out from this session range, if we really aggressively started to sell off to the downside, really aggressively, I could look for it short. This is going to be least likely, right? This is going to be least likely for me. I just don't see that happening. I'm not that comfortable getting short in this market. If we started to sell off really aggressively down through these lows, I could potentially look for it. Conversely, and more likely to happen, and I'll have to label this with like a 1 and a 2, we start to break out to the upside. I'm looking at this one. So I wouldn't mind a movement on a 15-minute chart. It's not going to give a good way to structure risk though. And I'd be looking at these levels up here. Level of liquidity right there, and to the upside. Yeah, 55, like the 25s, right into that level. Whoa, just to map this out for you guys. Looking to the upside because I've been trading into the afternoon, and I'm going to try to just describe what I'm looking at. This would be number 1, and this would be number 2. Simple as that. Up or down, right? I'm not calling which way I think it's going to go from here. If I had a good direction and a way to structure risk, I would already be in a trade, right? I don't. So if we start to see something like this to the upside, this is where I'm looking, right? And this is number 1. This is what I'm anticipating and most likely to trade into the afternoon. Now, we can, pull back and forth first and then see that movement to the upside. Like, I'm happy with that too. That's fine. We could see something like that. Either one of these are 1, to the upside. If we start to break out right here, I'm probably not going to catch it, right? I'd probably want to be long now. If we just push directly from here, I don't have a clean way to structure risk, and I'm cautious around this 5,500 where we have liquidity sitting to the upside. So I would be cautious there. We also have liquidity down here to the downside at the 40s. So I'm going to throw this on the chart as well, just to show you guys. This is coming off a book map, just to show you what I'm looking at there. So I know this is a little bit messy, but here's the idea coming into the afternoon. We break out to the upside. Maybe I catch something. Maybe not on these accounts. Maybe I try something to the upside up towards this 5,500 level. Long trade on it now isn't terrible. You can go stop loss way wide and try it. Chopping around first and then continuing to the upside, same deal. I'm looking for a movement to the upside. This is number 1, right? Number 2 would be if we don't do that, we get a big bullish bar to the downside breaking out. I might look for it short, right? I might just try an extension move to the downside. Either way, I'm not holding any of this for like massive runs to the upside or downside. I'm holding to levels of liquidity, market generated levels, something, because I'm cautious of overall chop. I'm cautious that trading from the extremes is probably the best case here, and trading directionally out of this movement, out of this consolidation could be dicey. So I'm cautious of that. I'm not going to look short again up here or up here, and I'm not going to look long, aggressively down here or down here. That's not my play. After a test of these levels, right, a sweep of this low, some chop, and then a long, sure. These are my, let me just finish this up. These are my my thought processes for number 1 here. But that's what I'm looking at out into the afternoon, guys. If I'm going to take a trade, it's probably going to be off of something like that. It's 11 a.m. We could see a lot develop here. We could rip our face off to the upside or downside, and then maybe I look to get in on some really big directional movement, and that's not mapped out here, so I can't say this is exactly how it's going to play out or how I would trade, but I'm going to try to let you know of, kind of what I'm looking at coming into the afternoon as I'm hopping off, because I've been taking trades, and they're pretty damn simple. It's the same simple stuff I do on here with you guys live. So that's what I'm looking at. Again, thing I'd like most is a sweep back down lower, kind of chop around for a little bit longer, piss everybody off, and then continue the upside. Like a really nice big bullish bar engulfing some of this price action. If we continue to chop for a little bit, I'd look long, to 5,500. We sell off really aggressively. I'm not super excited, but I'd look at it. If we rip to the upside right here, I'm not in, obviously, right now. Maybe I try something. I probably wouldn't put it in these accounts. I'd probably put it in a Top Step or a Tradeify, just on something else that I got to get some trading in. But that's the thought process. That's the thought process on the 15-minute coming into the afternoon. Tony. Brother, hope you have a great day. Hit the likes, people. I appreciate you, Tony. Thank you, man. Yeah, we got a legend, dude. Go check out Tony on socials, on Twitter. Easy peasy. You'll see the picture better if you turn off electronic hours. Yeah, sometimes. I don't mind looking at regular trading hours. I just recognize where they are, right? I have an understanding of what I'm looking at overnight session. But I do like to pay attention to overnight session. It does help just to have a reference. But guys, on that note, smash like, smash subscribe. Don't do that. Do whatever you want to do. I'll catch you in Discord. One win today. Nothing major, but happy to make a little bit more progress. See what we can do coming into the rest of the week. We got 2 more full trading days after today. Friday is a holiday. I'll be live with you guys tomorrow and Thursday. Hop in the Discord. Check out Top 1 Futures if you want to. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm affiliated. I stand to make money. I'm biased. All this stuff, man. Links everywhere. Descriptions anywhere. All that fun stuff. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose all your money if you trade. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content like code RDF and the links. I'm getting pretty good at that. I like to be transparent, so I rattle it off multiple times. Talk to you guys tomorrow or today in Discord. Later. Have an awesome rest of the day.